if you're new to web development, just as I am, you might have come across the term MVC, or you have read about it somewhere, or you've never come across it. So I'm going to cover a little bit about MVC, and hopefully you get an understanding of what is MVC. So what that stands for is model view control. Now, what is model view control? Now, if you look on the right side here, you will see I have a chart, a small chart that covers what MVC is. Let's say, for example, you are browsing on the internet, and you want a picture of an orange. Now, when you click, or when you search requesting a picture of an orange, that request is then taken, and it goes to the part of the website or the application which is called the control or / the logic. What this does is that it handles the mind of the website. So now, what does the control do? Well, it's built with control structures in place. For example, structures such as the conditional rendering. It has if-else statements. It has switch statements, which are responsible for filtering. You also have, access to the model. So now it has a require once the model. And sometimes you have one model, you have more models, but then this is for database functionality. So now we have received that request. It has gone through the control. The control has filtered whatever needs to be passed to the next stage. The next stage is going to go to what is called the model. Now, within this model, this part of the application or the website, it has access to the database. So it can connect via the require once line of code or function, and then there's various functions within this model that represent the types of database queries. So whether it be an update, whether it be a delete, whether it be a read, or whether it be a create, which basically is the CRUD functions that you have within this part of the app. Now, each function must have access to the database object. This can be accomplished by the global keyword. So when it connects to the database responds to you through what is called through a data structure called an object. So you have requested that orange. The database is going to send to you an object. Now, each function within the model must have access to that object, which is the database is sending back to you. The way that you can do that is using the global keyword. If you have a variable that can be accessed by different functions, you can then use global, then variable name. So which means each and every function can then take that data that has been passed through the variable. Now, once we have that, it's then passed back to the control. Now, the control is going to filter. Then again, maybe we have received, an object full of oranges, green oranges, red oranges, if there is any of those, and oranges. It then filters whatever that you want, and then it passes it to the view. Now, the view is basically responsible mostly for the HTML and CSS and the JavaScript. You want your JavaScript here to be dynamic. It allows you to display whatever that wants to be displayed, depending on what the request was in the first place. This is where the interaction starts, and when this is where it ends typically, because you've requested, then you receive. This way it ends. No more model access, no function calls, only what is needed to be displayed to the browser. So that's what the model the model view control is. Now, here's the strict implementation. There's separation between the three components, or in this case, if the main components here is the database, it's the control, then the browser. So the other part is what makes it much more dynamic, or much more effective. So views will only send requests to controls. Controls will use the models for all database interactions. The model will only be called by the return data to controllers. Controllers will select the view to be returned to the client browser. So as you can see, this is the flow. You request, goes to control, goes to model. The model request from the database, sends it back, goes to the control, the view. You could say view and presentation of the browser could be one thing. I just separate these so that I can be able to explain it better. But you could say the main parts of this whole model is 1, 2, 3. Then this part, that I had separated, you could merge that part. I don't know if that makes sense, but this is the MVC.